Help could be on the way for veterans and their families exposed to toxic PFAS chemicals at military bases, thanks to legislation introduced by a mid-Michigan congressman.
And it could impact service members at hundreds of military bases worldwide. Thanks for joining us for the news at 5. I'm Elise Ramey.
And I'm Meg McLeod. David is off tonight. Congressman Dan Kildee says this legislation would expand access to health benefits and care.
TV5's James Felton was there as he introduced it alongside veterans at a VFW post in Swartz Creek.
Today, I'm reintroducing the Veterans Exposed to Toxic PFAS Act, or the VET PFAS Act.
Congressman Dan Kildee stopped in Genesee County to talk about his latest effort to help veterans impacted by PFAS.
This legislation would require the Veterans Administration to cover treatment of certain health conditions related to PFAS exposure.
Ailments like high cholesterol, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, testicular cancer, and kidney cancer, along with pregnancy-induced hypertension. These would be considered a service-connected disability. It would allow military veterans and their families exposed to PFAS to receive disability payments and medical treatment from the VA. Kildee believes PFAS awareness among lawmakers in the nation's capital is gaining momentum.
There's hardly a week that goes by that I don't hear from one of my colleagues on either side of the aisle asking me a question about PFAS because they've just discovered that they have it in their community.
Kildee tells us there are 700 military sites across the country that have potential PFAS contamination.
Well, I readily signed up and agreed to defend our nation with the world's greatest Air Force. At no time did I consent to the consumption of contaminated water.
John Holly served 6 years at Wirt Smith Air Force Base in Oscoda as a B-52 pilot in the 1980s. He calls this the Agent Orange issue of our generation.
I was reassured that this was a very safe foam and that you could actually take a bath in it. I'm like, okay. But clearly this information was incorrect.
Kildee says it won't be easy to get his bill passed into law, but he believes it's the right thing to do for our veterans.
They pledge to protect us and put their lives at risk to do so. We make a promise to them that anything that happens to them as a result of their service, that we'll be there for them. We'll have their back. And that's what this legislation is really about.
James Felton, WNEM, TV5.